Hey duckies! Welcome back to Review with 3. For today's tutorial, we'll finally be delving into the inductive reasoning subtest. Today's topic, number series. In the NMAT, this section is fully known as number and letter series, but let's first discuss the number series because this is the basic one in which the letter series is built upon, okay? The letter series is a bit complex, but the basic techniques are all under the number series. But before we get right into it, I would just like to announce, if you haven't seen my posts yet, both in my FB page as well as the posts tab here in the channel, my NMAT Review G Drive is finally ready to be accessed. But this is a perk solely for my subscribers, so please do like and subscribe. And once you're done with that, please refer to my posts to get access to the G Drive. Okay? So, let's start. I've already talked about the number and letter series in the must-knows video, but that was just a brief introduction. Now we're gonna dive into what the number and letter series is about and how we're gonna go ahead and solve this one in the NMAT. So a number series is an ordered sequence of numbers arranged according to a specific mathematical rule or pattern. What does that mean? So each number in the series, just like this one, relates to the others through consistent operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, even exponents or more complex relationships. Now, numbers in a series are described as terms, okay? Each of these are different terms, and they are presented in a sequence with gaps. In the sequence, they are typically between 4 to 7 visible terms. Right here, we have 5. And to find the missing elements, we must find the specific logical rule or pattern that links this series and apply that to the missing numbers. Okay? So just like this one, we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Our correct answer would be B, 12, because what's the pattern there? There's repetitive addition of 2 after each term. So our missing term right here would most probably be 12. So it's that simple, right? So number series questions are based on rather simple mathematical rules. But in the NMAT, they are difficult because the pattern may be less obvious sometimes. Not to mention the time crunch, okay? So if you've watched my previous videos, especially in the must-knows, inductive reasoning is one of my favorite subtests, second to perceptual acuity. So this is my baby right here. And in this tutorial, I'll be pulling all the stops and teaching you all of my methods, okay? So listen very clearly. Let's go, duckies. So in this series, what you're gonna have to be acquainted to is the knowledge of the typical patterns that show up in the NMAT. Okay, later on we'll have more examples as to how to solve these ones, but right now I'm gonna be showing you what the typical patterns are in the number series. So first off, we have here our arithmetic series. What does this mean? Arithmetic, very basic, right? This just means that each term right here increases or decreases by a fixed difference, otherwise known as your common difference. So there's a common difference amongst all of the terms right here. That means it could be addition or it could be subtraction. So let's figure out here what the typical pattern is, how to solve it, and what's the answer. So here we can see 5 is 5 and then it became 8. So that could be plus 3, right? Let's see if the pattern is consistent. So plus 3 right here. How about here? 8 to 11, that is adding 3 again. 11 to 14, adding 3. And then it goes on up until here. So most likely for this one, it's also plus 3, right? So that would mean that our answer would be 20. Okay? So it's just that. This is usually the one that comes up. Arithmetic and geometric is basically very simple, but they're gonna overwhelm you with a lot of terms and of course the time pressure. You're gonna have to practice a lot in order to be able to answer this one in around 30 seconds or less. I recommend you do it in around 15 seconds in the actual NMAT. Okay? Next up, let's go to our number 2. Oh, by the way, I gathered here all of the most frequently occurring patterns in the NMAT. There are a lot of other patterns not included here, which you can see in the Filipino website as well as the other references. But these are the ones that I specifically created for you guys, so you don't have to get overwhelmed, okay? Because basically, it's just these ones. There are 8 of these, by the way. So these are the first 4. Okay, let's move on to geometric. What does geometric mean? It means that each term is either multiplied or divided by a fixed ratio, otherwise known as your common ratio. Okay, that means that it could be increasing or decreasing, multiplied or divided. Okay, let's try to solve this one. 160 to 80, that means just what? Divided by 2, right? 80 to 40, that's also divided by 2. 3 to 20, that's divided by 2. 20 to 10 divided by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is most likely our answer, okay? And that would leave us to 5. That's the correct answer, right? It's very easy. Moving on, we have Fibonacci series. This just means that each term is the sum of the 2 preceding terms. 1 plus 3 is your 4, right? And then 3 plus 4 is your 7. 7 plus 4 is your 11. 11 plus 7 is your 18. 11 plus 18 is your 29. 18 plus 29 is your what? It's your 47. Okay? So that is our correct answer. Lastly, for this slide, we have our alternating series. This just means that there is a combination of 2 or more different operations that are used alternately. Here in the example, 53 to 51, that means 2 is subtracted. 51 to 17, that means it is divided into 3. 17 to 15, that is minus 2. 15 to 5, it is divided by 3 as well. That means this term right here should be minus 2. That would leave us our answer, 5 minus 2 is 3. Now that's very easy, okay? Just think of these series when you're encountering various items in the number series. Another one. Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. So here we have a square series. Very straightforward, right? Terms are squares of natural numbers. That means n to the power of 2. So we see here this is 7 squared. This is 6 squared. 5 squared. And so on. 4 squared. 3 squared. 2 squared. This means this would be 1 squared. And 1 squared is 1. Okay? So next one, cube series. Similar as square series, it's that the terms are cubes of natural numbers. That means n to the power of 3. So this one right here is 1 cube. This is 2 cube. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. 3 cube. 3 times 3, 9 times 3, 27. 4 cube. 4 times 4, 16 times 4, 64. So that means this missing term right here is most probably 5 cube. And what is 5 cube? 5 times 5, 25 times 5, that is 125. Another one, your exponential or power series. So this is basically the umbrella that these two are under in. Terms involve exponents or power functions. So usually the exponential series involve huge numbers, okay? But don't panic when you see one. Just analyze what is the easiest route to take to answer the item. If you're looking at this, it's 5 digits, okay? It's a bit huge, so we can work backwards, okay? 4 squared is your 16. 16 squared is your 256. 256 squared is most likely this number. So that means this missing term right here is most probably the square root of its preceding term, right? So what is the square root of 4? Square root of 4 is 2. Okay, basically, if you think about it, it's kind of like your decreasing geometric pattern, okay? But involving square roots. Okay, so you take the square root of this one, and it's this. Square root of 2, 5, 6, 16. Square root of 16, 4. Square root of 4. Lastly, we have here our mixed series. This is the ultimate combo. So it includes every series or patterns that we've discussed, okay? It could have arithmetic, geometric, exponential, alternating, or Fibonacci. And it could be increasing or decreasing, and we have to figure out which is which. 3 and 8, that would most likely be plus 5. Okay? 8 and 4, it could be divided by 2 or minus 4. Okay? 4 and 12, that is times 3. Okay? It could also be plus 8. Right now, it's a bit unclear what pattern this is going, but let's continue. Okay, we still have another term left. 12 and 6, that could be minus 6 or divided by 2. So here, in plus 5 divided by 2 plus 8 minus 6, it's a bit weird. We cannot find a pattern with just this. Now we can try to go ahead and get a second pattern from this one, but it's already clear that the pattern we have is here. Okay? Plus 5 minus 4 times 3 divided by 2. Okay? As I've said, ultimate combo. Right? So what could be the possible next? You can see here that it is in decreasing order. 5, 4, 3, 2. That means 1. Our next pattern. How about the operations? Add, subtract, times, or multiply and divide. Meaning we're going to get right back to add. So 6 plus 1 is 7. This is our answer. I hope that's clear, because right now I will be introducing the hacks into how to solve this faster. So step 1. Copy the sequence onto your whiteboard. So keep in mind, in the inductive reasoning subtest, you're allowed your whiteboard and marker. I recommend you copy the series onto your whiteboard, as writing it down keeps the eyes from getting strained, okay, from looking too long at the screen. And it also helps you avoid mental mix-ups, since you've written it down separately. It's way easier to spot patterns when everything's laid out clearly. This one, copy onto your whiteboard. Next, step 2. Leave a blank after the last term. So I encourage you that you leave a blank after the last term. So this sets your focus, okay? Now that blank is your target. It tells your brain, ito yung hinahanap natin, okay? Sometimes kasi nakakalito, kasi ang dami na, and then later may techniques pa tayo, so sometimes we forget to include the missing term in finding the pattern. Okay, so to prevent that mix-up, leave a blank after the last term. Count how many terms there are. So this is the hack that I've been talking about. You do not need to find the pattern for every single term. There's a shortcut for that. And this one, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Okay, keep in mind 5 terms. Do not include the missing term, just the terms presented. So my technique for this one is this rhyme. Okay, it's 5 or less, just assess. 6 or more, pair and explore. Okay, so what does this mean? If it's 5 or less terms given, you just assess it and go about it like we usually do in the previous portion. You assess what's the pattern from term to term, how the preceding term affects the succeeding term. Okay, how 2 affects 4, 6, 8, 10. But when there's 6 or more, you have to make them a duo. Make them a duo, and then only assess how the duos relate to each other. So right here though, it's 5 or less, just assess. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it's obvious that it's plus 2 from the preceding, succeeding terms. That means here it's 12, right? Later on in the examples, I'll be showing you how to do the 6 or more, pair and explore. Okay, moving on to the step 4. So you keep in mind arithmetic, geometric, Fibonacci, etc. The ones that we talked about. Okay, and you figure out which one is the pattern. So here, as I've said earlier, it's arithmetic, right? It's increasing arithmetic series. Our last step would be find the prevailing pattern, the pattern na nananaig, at i-apply yung pattern sa missing term na duo. It's either the missing term or the missing term duo. So maybe it does not make sense right now, but keep in mind these steps, and this will get clearer as we go on with the examples. Okay, so are you ready? I will not be flashing the steps anymore as I did with the hidden figures. So please copy this into a piece of paper next to you, and let's go about our first example. So this is from the SEM 2019 practice set. I just used the SEM 2019 because it is the most recent, and most of the time, some items from SEM 2019 do come out in the actual NMAT exam, okay? This is part of the test bank, so it might come up again, and at the same time, it's really the blueprint of how the SEM creates questions for the NMAT. So pause this one, answer it on your own, and then once you're ready to answer with me, just hit play, okay? Let's start. Step 1. Copy the sequence onto your whiteboard. Have you copied it already? Okay, moving on. Step 2. Add a blank after the series, okay? To let you know, to tell your brain, this is what we're after, okay? Do not forget this part when assessing the terms as well as forming duos. And then step 3, count how many terms there are, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. It's 6 or more. Pair and explore. So this is where we can see our hack. What that means is instead of going about finding the pattern for all of the pairs, we form our duos. And the duos are the ones directly katabi ng terms, okay? And that duo is starting from your blank, from your missing term, okay? Include that in the duo. So in the number series, you do duos like this, okay? They are magkatabi, and you include first, you make the duo first with the missing term, okay? So make duos with the other ones as well. Now that's done, we're going to proceed to step 4, and we analyze the pattern between the duos. So 50 and 51, that's plus 1. 49 and 52, that's plus 3. 48 and 53, that's plus 5. That means this is an increasing arithmetic series. Increasing by 2, right? Or like just odd numbers, right? That means over here, it's plus 7. And 47 plus 7 is 54. So that means our answer is clear. It's D, okay? So it's just like that. It's that easy. So instead of going about here and here, pairing all of them, we just instead make duos and then analyze the duos. Because if we go about the 5 or less just assess, or the usual route, this would become plus 1. This right here would become plus, oh no, this is minus 2. And this right here is plus 3, right? And this right here is minus 4. This right here is, but anywho, you get the gist, right? It takes longer. And then, yeah, it takes longer. It's just that. And at the same time, maybe sometimes the pattern does not prevail. Ganon. So, did you get this right, Ducky? So it's quite easy, right? But at least now you know the proper technique on how to answer this faster and more accurate. So if you got this right, congrats, Ducky! And if you haven't, then not to worry, not to fret, okay? Let's get going. Let's pick up the speed. Step 1, copy on the whiteboard. Step 2, add blank. Step 3, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pa rin. 6 or more, pair and explore. Make the duos. duos starting from your missing number. Do not exclude this one. Because honestly, guys, when I first started with this technique, I oftentimes exclude the term, and that makes it all wrong. Okay? Now, next step 4, analyze what pattern prevails among the other duals. Okay? 196, that is minus 4. 8985 minus 4. 7975 minus 4, that means this is a very consistent decreasing arithmetic series. Okay, that means this pair right here, step 5, apply the prevailing pattern into the missing pairs duo. So that means 70 minus 4 is your 66. Did you get this one right? If you did, congrats! I finally figured out how to do the confetti thingy. I've been wanting to try this out ever since I started with this example solution thingy. Board work, right? That's what you call it in school, the board work. Okay? So if you haven't, again, you just need practice, not to fret, you're still starting. Go easy on yourself. Another example. Write this on your whiteboard. Step 1, step 2, add blank. Step 3, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 6 or more. Pair and explore. Make the duo starting from the missing term. Now analyze. Figure out the pattern. 11 and 22, that's times 2. Or plus 11. 12 and 24, that is as well times 2. So let's just not do the addition because multiplication is faster, right? Times 2 as well. Meaning, this is a consistent increasing geometric pattern, right? This one is times 2 as well. So 18 times 2, that's your 36. The answer is very clear. It's right here. So how about this one, duckies? Pinagpalad na ba? Did you get the gist na already? If you did, congrats! If you haven't, practice, practice, practice. Let's get this over with. Again, step 1, copy, whiteboard. Now, step 2, blank. Step 3, duo. Okay. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 or more. Pair and explore. And as I've said, the reason why you have to start talaga from the missing term is because sometimes there's an add one out, okay? And you don't want the add one out to be the missing pair. You always have to include it in your assessment. Okay, so leave out the 10. The 10 does not matter anymore. It's too harsh, but yes, it does not matter anymore. Treat it like it doesn't exist. Ghost it, okay? That's only applicable here. Do not do that in real life. Bad yan. Okay? So analyze. This is plus 5. Another one, plus 5. So most likely, let's not overthink, guys. It's plus 5. That's your 31. And just like that, we're done. And I assume you've gotten at least more than half of it. Okay, you've gotten it right. And congrats for learning something new today. So these are my references, you guys. You have one from Geeks for Geeks, and then Filipino, my favorite. And then I also included practice aptitude tests because they seem legit, okay? They're like for nationwide tests, okay, in the US, I guess. So yeah, I will include these links in the comments. So if you want to check it out for yourself, they provide a more in-depth explanation. Okay, I just made it fast and easy. So that's all the time we have for today, and I hope you learned a lot and that I was able to be helpful in your NMAT journey, okay? For my subscribers, please claim your access to the NMAT review G drive that I have, okay? Refer to the posts for how to access it. And I'll catch you on the next tutorial video, duckies. Bye!